Hi guys, I'm sat on the floor with my blanket and my teddy and my cup of tea because this is something that I really struggled to talk about. As you can see from the thing, we are going to talk about sex. And so if you struggle with that, why did you click on the video? Just saying. As someone who grew up as a Christian, I have always been told, don't have sex until you are married, which is fine. But then you go to school and everybody says, oh, you're a prude. Oh, you need to get out there and sleep with people. And I'm like, yeah. From like my teenage years, I was told, if you're a virgin, you're a prude. And if you're not, you're a slut. And that is not the best way to put around things, because when you convert that to being a man, which I mean I have no experience of being, obviously, you're said if you're a virgin, you're a weirdo, and if you're not, you're a top lad and a legend and a player and all that. And it's more celebrated to go sleep around with people. I was told when I was 16, oh, you're 16 now, you're legal, come on, you can get out there and do it. And I was told that if I didn't sleep with my boyfriend at the time, he would go find it somewhere else. His friends told me that. I was 16. I didn't need that sort of pressure. Like, come on. This same boyfriend sexually assaulted me. Now, it's taken me 8 years to finally be able to say that it was sexual assault, because at the time I was like, no, it wasn't, it's fine. And I've never been able to talk about it, like, publicly. I've spoken to some friends about it, but not very much, because I know so many people that would see this, or see me talking about it, instantly know who I'm talking about, and probably be on their side. Or probably say that I'm a bad person for saying this stuff, and that possibly couldn't be true. Because I've seen it happen to people, and it's been really scary. But I'm finally speaking up, because I've seen all these things, and like, about it. Because there's things recently where they've said more stuff about, oh, there's been some sexual assaults and harassment. Maybe women should start being more, women should do this, women should do that to start and protect themselves. Why are we telling the women to do stuff when we should be talking to the men and telling them not to do it? Come on. I was told, oh, I know you want it, I can tell. And I was like, I think I know what I want. I was told, you have to compromise. I've been compromising for you by not having sex with you. You have to compromise with me by doing it, or doing something. I was told that it was unfair. I was moaned at a lot for not wanting to have sex with this person. But I didn't know that that wasn't normal. I presumed that everybody was doing it, and if I didn't want to, that was unfair and it was my fault. He would go to do stuff and I'd say no and push him away, and he'd come back, try again, and I'd say I don't want to, and he'd say, but I know you do want to, and I would say no, I really don't want to, and like get off the bed where we were sitting and go to the corner and like just sit on the floor and be like, I really don't want to. And he'd get on the bed and he'd get upset and he'd cry about it, and then I'd feel bad, think I'd done something wrong, and I'd come over and apologise. He would get so that he could put his fingers in my vagina without my consent, with me going, I really don't want to do this, and like trying to shuffle away, and him just going further and being like, oh, but you're wet, I can tell that you want it. This is really hard for me to talk about because I already don't want to talk about other stuff. And then he'd just keep trying and trying. And I was with this guy for months. I told a friend. I was getting quite upset about it, so I told her. And she said, well, that's just what guys do. You just have to go with it. You just have to deal with it. Like, come on, get over it. And so I thought it was just me. I carried on. I eventually broke up with him. And then when people are like, oh, why did you break up? I didn't feel like I could say anything. So I'd be like, oh, I just didn't like him anymore. And then people were annoyed at me for breaking up with him. And they were like, oh, but he's so nice. Oh, why would you do that? That's not very nice. Like, you've made him upset now. He's so upset. And then he would like guilt trip me. And lots of people would like be telling me, oh, he's so upset. How dare you break up? Oh, he's so upset. A week after we broke up, he slept with someone. So I guess he couldn't have been that upset. So he stood there going, oh, you broke up with me. You made me so upset. And I'm like, well, maybe you shouldn't have assaulted me. At that time, people would talk about sexual assault, and I would assume they meant rape, as in full-on penis, vagina rape. I didn't realise that it would include it. That because whenever I thought about sexual stuff, I didn't include like handsy things. That just didn't come to mind when I thought about it. And so I just carried on, and I kept quiet. And I kept quiet for years. I told like 2 people. One of them was upset, and the other one was the one that told me that it was alright. I thought we were really good friends, and that really bummed me out. And then lots of people would talk about all this stuff, and I was so affected by it. My trust of people, because I thought this guy was a good guy. He probably was a good guy, just didn't understand consent. No means no. It doesn't mean I'm just saying no, you should push further and I will say yes. No. If someone says no and you push further and then they say, oh, go on then, that's not consent. That's you pressuring them into doing something. My trust in guys has gone downhill because my boyfriend before that, I say boyfriend, we dated for like a couple of weeks maybe. And during that time, he was flirting with a bunch of my friends, messaged another one of my friends to ask for pictures of her in a bikini, and all this. So after having those 2 as my first sort of like boyfriends, I had like very little trust in men. And I still do, because I still don't trust them. Still don't trust a lot of people. And it really affected me. I didn't tell people for years and years. And then a couple of years ago, I finally told my mum. She was really upset. I thought she was going to be really upset because I had let him get that far with me when I didn't want to. Thought she was going to be really upset about that. But she was more upset that this thing had happened to me and I hadn't told her. I thought people were going to judge me because I'd done this thing. And it wasn't till I was recently watching Switch to Birth, which is a show that came out ages ago, and I probably should have watched it years ago, but I didn't. Finally started watching it, and spoiler alert, there's a bit in it where the girl is raped, and she isn't convinced that it is because they used to date and they were friends, and she was drunk and she doesn't remember it, and so she felt that was still her fault and she'd had a point in it. But that's not how it works, and they explained that over and over again, and then was like, that's assault. And it was only then that I linked that to what had happened to me and realised that wasn't okay. And it's not my fault. Don't get me wrong, I still feel like I did something wrong. When I didn't, I did nothing wrong. But that doesn't stop me feeling like I did. That doesn't stop me feeling really bad that I didn't say anything then. that he got away scot-free. He probably doesn't even realise that that's what happened. He might not even care, who knows. But I had to block him on everything. I blocked people who would post stuff with him in it because I couldn't see his face. Even now, it just makes me feel so sick inside and it makes me shut down. The other day I was watching something, they had sexual assault in the scene and I cried. I sobbed. It's been 8 years and I'm not over it. And I'm so sad that I'm not over it. But I'm not doing... And I just wanted to film this and tell you guys about it, to be like, hi, you're not alone if this has happened to you. It's not okay. I never had people that said that this sort of thing is not okay. Like, at that time, I thought that that's what people did. And I just want to be the person that tells someone that it's not okay. You can reach out for help. Even if there's a tiny part of you that thinks, oh, maybe it's worth talking to someone about it. Thanks, guys. See you next time. Just remembered while editing that I didn't mention that, especially through being, it's a quite British thing as well, but especially through being brought up in like youth groups and stuff, I was sort of made to believe that talking about sex wasn't appropriate and that it was just not something you do, and that because I should be living by abstinence, I shouldn't have a reason to talk about it, really. And that's just what I felt. It may not be what I was taught, really, but that's how I interpreted stuff. And so that's a dangerous route to go around, especially with this sort of stuff. See, I really struggle to even say the words. And it's just ingrained in me. So I just need to make people aware that you need to tell people that it's okay to talk about it. It's okay.